Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. First of all, could you please tell me your full name and the position or positions you occupy currently?
My full name's James McCauley. I'm currently the National Director for Catholic War Veterans and also local commander of Post 1947. And I'm also the Veterans Rep for the Catholic War Veterans. And we're sort of in charge of this clinic, the new Northwest Clinic. My wife and I share that responsibility. We have 80 people that we have to schedule each week for this clinic to work there.
Tell me a little bit about where you were born and raised and your family of origin, please.
Okay. I was born in Phoenix City, Alabama. The reason being my father was in the military, and at that time he was stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia, which is right across the river. We traveled most of my life. I lived in Japan, throughout the United States, from California to the eastern seaboard. Germany, I graduated out of high school in Germany, and I joined the Army myself at that time in Germany. And then I made a career out of the Army. However, after my second tour in Vietnam, I got sick. We didn't know then what it was, but I was medically discharged after 18 years.
Were you exposed to Agent Orange or something like that?
Yes, I was. I was exposed to Agent Orange on both tours. I had two tours, one in 1965, the second one in 1970, 71. And that's when I became ill after that second tour. Since then, I have developed cancer, which is related to prostate cancer. I also have diabetes 2 and have ischemic heart disease, which have all been related to Agent Orange.
Including the diabetes?
Including the diabetes.
I didn't realize it increased the likelihood of that.
Oh yes. The ones that brought it to our attention was the Australian Army. 75% of their troops that served in the Mekong Delta came down with diabetes 2.
Oh my.
And they're the ones that alerted the American government, and then they did a survey, and there's more of us that were in Vietnam with it than the normal population. So.
Were you raised in any particular religion?
I was raised in Catholic religion.
Mm-hmm.
I went through parochial schools up into high school, and then I went to public school after that. After graduating and joining the military, I took courses through the University of Maryland and the University of El Paso, Texas, but I never finished my degree. But
what was your course of study at that time?
at that time it was psychology.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I do. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
And what are they doing now?
One of them is deceased. The one that's next to me, he was murdered in 1984 in Texas. He got shot. My oldest brother works here in Las Vegas, our youngest brother. He works here in Las Vegas for a gate company, security gates. I have 2 sisters here in San Francisco, California, and one works in government and the other one works in private industry.
Great. And tell us about your children.
I have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. The oldest one is supervisor for security at a local casino. The youngest one is a carpenter. The daughters both work for the state of Nevada.
What did you do to get the Bronze Star Medal?
I was in the Phoenix Advisory Program. I was an advisor in the Phoenix program, and I led Vietnamese forces on several operations, and that's how I received the Bronze Medal.
And you have 3 oak leaf clusters for your Army Commendation Medal. What
Right.
did you do to earn those?
Okay, first one I was, they put it on my award as acting sergeant major at the Intel School at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and that was my first award. And then the others were in Germany. I ran a field office all by myself. It was supposed to be a 5-man office, and I ran it entirely by myself. We were so short of counterintelligence personnel. And then the last one was in Fort Bliss, Texas. That was another field office, and it was supposed to be a 12-man office, and I ran it totally by myself.
Wow.
Until I was medically retired out of service.
How many years in service did you have at that time?
18 years, 2 months, and 10 days. Not that I was counting.
And how did you meet Colleen?
I met her when I came back from France. I was assigned to a little army depot in Granite City, Illinois, and her next door neighbor hooked us up on a blind date. And we went, that first date, I'll never forget it, because I called her on the telephone and everything, and she says, be sure and wear your Class A uniform. We're going to an outside concert at the local park. So I come dressed in my Class A, spit shine polish, and she came out in cutoffs and a sweatshirt. It just totally blew my mind. But that's where we met, and from there, 4 months later, we got married.
And what's the secret? You've been married a long time. What's the secret to staying married so long, hopefully successfully?
It's very successful. Number one, we work as partners. We share everything. I gave up going out with the boys, and she gave up going out with the girls. We concentrated on raising our family. And after the kids grew up, then we had the grandchildren that followed. And we believe in a real tight family. And that's brought us even closer together. It seems like the longer we've been together, the more in love we get. That might sound corny to a lot of people nowadays, but that's the way it is.
Please tell us what makes you give so much time, money, and energy to the Knights of Columbus.
I don't do too much with the Knights.
You're a fourth
degree. It's not only the Knights of Columbus, but I do a lot with veterans groups in particular.
Knights of Columbus, when I looked it up online, I didn't see that it talked a lot about veterans.
No.
Is there a close association?
The fourth degree is called the patriotic degree, and they are the ones that would work with veterans. So when I attained that position, then I was more inclined to work with veterans. Up until there, we work with mentally challenged people, and a lot within the church itself.
What do you do in the church?
We support the pastor, we help raise money. Right now I'm in a parish called St. Anthony of Padua. We do not have our church built yet, so we help with fundraisers for the church building, holding bake sales, just anything possible to raise money. Flea market, we'll hold a flea market once a year and take the proceeds from that to help pay for that.
Where do you meet now since you don't have a building?
We meet, they're renting a storefront off of Rancho Lane, and we meet there Tuesday nights, first Tuesday night of the month.
I was reading the letter that you sent me about yourself, and you have so many different activities in which you're involved.
Right.
It seems largely centered around veterans, memorial, and homelessness. Those seem to be the main topics that you're focused on.
Yes.
I have two questions that are both related to that preamble. One is, please tell us your 2 or 3 most important efforts and a little detail about them. And then the other is, why are those 3 areas so central to what you do?
First off, I work with the homeless, or the ones that are right on the edge of being homeless. And I've concentrated my efforts with a lot of other veteran groups. They elected me as the chair of the Homeless Coalition. And our program is to prevent homelessness. If we can stop them from getting on the street, we've accomplished a great deal more. because once they get on the street, it is so hard to get them back into society and helping them there. Secondly, I work with a lot of widows, and when the partner dies, everybody's there. But it's 6 months down the road, everybody forgives them. So we've got a program where we try to keep them active in our organization. I make sure that they get to go out to the cemetery. We have a van. We take them out once a month.
That's down in Boulder City?
In Boulder City. We drive them out there, and it's their day, I call it. They can take their time, visit their loved one's gravesite, and then afterwards we usually go for lunch at a local hotel. There's a historical hotel in Boulder City, and they really like going there. And I just let them relax and enjoy and interact. Plus we keep them involved with all the other programs with the homeless. They work with us side by side. I've got 80-year-olds that work with us at the racetrack, if you can believe that. And they put in 10, 12-hour day out there and never complain, not one little bit.
What kind of things do they do for you?
They, at the racetrack, they help us with checking tickets when people come up to the VIP suites. In town, they'll help us with poppy drives. They're right out there with veterans trying to sell poppies and make money for our welfare program. Part of that welfare program is we help with food. We have a food bank. We're one of the only veterans groups in town that has one. We help with rent assistance, and we also help with utility assistance.
How does one qualify for those programs? First of all, they need to be a veteran of the United States Armed Forces.
Yes.
Do they need to have been a veteran during an active conflict?
No, they don't.
So they're post-Vietnam era, that would be fine.
Yeah, they can be a veteran in any era, any time frame. In order to get into the system, we have them go through the VA's social worker program, where they will evaluate. They call us and they verify that this is in fact a person that really is in need and not one trying to scam us for money. We set this program out because when we first started, we just went straight to the person, and we were getting ripped off, as the word goes. So in order to stop that, we go through the VA.
And they have to qualify by what standard?
They will verify that if there is a need for the rent assistance, they'll notify it, go to the whoever the rental party is. If it is a utility bill, we'll verify they have to have the bill with them, and we pay it directly to the utility company or the rental agency. No cash to the person. When we first started, we made a big mistake and was giving the money to the people,
and they drank it or gambled it.
Gambled it or what have you. In the type of city we live in here, that's part of the course. So this has stopped that. Plus, people that aren't trying to improve their lot in life, we're not there to supplement your money so you can go out and gamble your checks away, if it's Social Security, whatever it is. So we try to prevent that. And we have, the way this social worker works, we check with all the agencies in town and we coordinate together. So Nevada,
so they can't be taken from 3 different pots.
Yeah.